never flat or wishy-washy. So get acquainted with Lipton's real soon, won't you, folks?
Yes, and if you'd like to get acquainted with murder real soon, then listen to Dead Man's Deal. It's an original radio play by that chill master, Emil Tepperman. And our star tonight is Larry Haynes, who plays the role of Joe Lester. It all happened to Joe Lester. He was really a small-time gambler who had no business in that big-time game with Barney Flood and Dan Kilmer and Nick Zapparetti and the others. But it's really Lester's story. So here he is to tell it to you.
I guess it was the biggest poker game I ever took a hand in. It was in Barney Flood's room, number 327, the Brandon Hotel. They were all big shots. I had to play a careful game. I only had about $3,000, and if I didn't nurse it, a single deal could wipe me out.
What's the matter, Lester? Playing kind of tight, aren't you?
Whatever, Barney. Man's entitled to play his own game, isn't he?
Sure. Maybe you don't belong in this one. You need guts for this game. You tell him, Dan.
Maybe Lester doesn't know what guts are like. Now listen, you. Don't try to get tough, Lester. It wouldn't be healthy.
Lester thought me, Dan. So because I took his girl away from him. How did you, Lester?
Suppose we leave Louise out of this, Barney. She prefers you. That's okay with me.
That's mighty big of you, Lester.
That's why I hated
Mom,
Barney.
what are you doing?
He'd taken Louise away from me.
What are you doing?
And Louise was the only thing in the world I loved.
Nothing?
And what was worse, Barney Flood and his man Dan Kilmer were laughing at me because they knew I didn't have the guts to do anything about it. But then it came. The hand I'd been waiting for. Dan Kilmer was dealing. Barney Flood opened blind.
I opened for 1,000.
I dropped. The others all dropped out. But when I picked up my 5 cards, I found I had 3 aces. This was the way I'd wanted it. Just Barney Flood and me. And me with a strong hand before the buy. Now I'd show him who had guts. I counted out $2,000 in $100 bills and shoved them out on the table. I see you, Barney. And raise you 1,000.
So little Lester is waking up. Okay, I see the raise. That's the two of us,
How many cards, Barney?
1.
Right. And how many do you want, Big Shot? I'll take 2. There you are. My hands were a little clammy as I picked them up. I looked at the cards. And suddenly I felt as if I'd inherited the whole universe. I had bought an extra ace. I held 4 aces.
Well, Big Shot, I bought something here. I think it's the winning hand. I'm going to bet the works. Here. All the cash I have with me. 90 grand.
90 grand. I felt the sweat on my hands as I watched him push the money out on the table. 90 grand he was betting. And I had him beat with my 4 aces. But I couldn't see his bet. All I had was about $1,000.
Come on, Big Shot. What are you waiting for?
You know I haven't got that much money.
You shouldn't be playing in this game, Tin Horn.
You're taking advantage of me, Barney. You're trying to show me up. You know I have to drop out even with a better hand.
Oh, so you think you have a better hand, huh?
Make the bet inside my limit, and you'll see.
All right, Lester. Let's see what kind of a gambler you really are. Here. I'll withdraw this 90 grand bet. I'll make another kind of bet. The bet you can see. If you have the guts.
What kind of bet?
I'll bet my life against your life. The man who loses this deal agrees to commit suicide.
For a full minute after Barney Flood made his proposition, the room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Barney Flood and I sat facing each other across the table, our closed cards in our hands. These were the biggest stakes Len had ever played for. A life against a life. The other players were stunned and frightened by it. They wanted no part of it. One by one, they made lame excuses and faded from the room. Only Dan Kilmer was left with Barney and me.
Look, Barney,
Why should you risk your life against this punk's life?
This is the way it's going to be, Dan. Lester hates me. Don't you, Lester?
Yes, Bernie. I hate you.
You see, Dan, he hates me because deep down inside of him, he knows he isn't as good as I am. All right. This is the showdown. One of us walks out of this room alive. The loser stays here with a bullet in his brain. That okay with you, Lester?
Yeah. Yeah, sure, it's okay with me, but I don't want Dan in the room. This is just between you and me. Let him go out before we uncover our cards.
All right. Well, listen, boss. You heard him, Dan. Just the two of us.
Okay.
Keep your gun here on the table, Dan.
I don't
Do
like
as I say.
Okay.
Thanks. Now go down to the lobby and wait.
So long. I'll be waiting in the lobby.
Okay, Lester. There's no backing out now. We'll open our hands. The loser picks up that gun and blows his brains out.
This was the minute I've been waiting for. My lips were dry.
What?
I went to with my
I can't
tongue.
sit behind me.
Now, at last, I had Barney Flood exactly where I wanted him. Okay, Barney. Read them and weep. How do you like these?
I see her.
One ace, two aces,
You're gonna keep
three
walking
aces,
anyway.
4 aces. How do you like them, Barney?
Hey, you gonna say,
Yeah, Ian, where you thought you kept on going? You saw that
I
moment?
wanted to know
she's gonna
the
stop,
last
stop, too.
satisfaction out of that moment. But he was a born gambler. His face didn't show a thing. He
you
sighed
backing out right now?
and
You got
slowly
the damn
began
right
to
away.
turn over his own cards.
It ain't sound right here.
3 of hearts,
Ain't got no
4
price.
of